Alright, let's just jump right into one of the biggest what-ifs you can imagine. We all know the story, right? Baby from a dying planet, lands in Kansas, becomes a hero. But what if that little rocket ship overshot its destination by, I don't know, a few galaxies and touched down right in the middle of the Star Wars universe? That is the absolutely wild scenario we're breaking down today.
And this quote right here, it really nails the heart of the problem. See, the Force is basically the operating system for the Star Wars galaxy. It guides everything, it connects everyone, it decides fate. So what in the world happens when something shows up that's a complete blank spot? A variable that destiny itself just can't see coming. So our story doesn't begin on some quiet farm. Nope, it kicks off on the icy sacred Jedi world of Ilum. This is the place where they get their kyber crystals, a world just humming with the Force. It is literally the last place in the galaxy you'd ever expect to find something, well, something so completely alien.
And it all goes down in a flash. For the Jedi researchers stationed there, it starts with the sky itself looking like it's tearing open. That's followed by this massive, ground-shaking impact. They rush out, probably thinking it's a meteor or some natural disaster, but what they find is something else. A small, strange, metallic pod, humming with an energy they've never felt before.
And this is where things go from strange to impossible. Because inside this pod, sitting in the middle of a frozen wasteland, is a baby. And he's not just okay, he's perfectly fine. He's not even cold. In fact, he's radiating a little bit of warmth in an environment that should have killed anything instantly. So Jedi Master Rin does what any Jedi would do. He reaches out with the Force to sense the child. And what he feels is nothing. An absolute void. I mean, it's not like the child is weak in the Force or resisting him. He's just not there. For a Jedi, that's like looking at a person and seeing a hole in the universe where their soul is supposed to be. It shouldn't be possible. So the Jedi do what they do. They bring the child back to the temple on Coruscant, they name him Kal, and they raise him. But this isn't going to be the story of a cool new Jedi. This is the story of an alien being growing up right in their home, a walking, talking paradox that they just can't figure out. And you can see the huge problem right here. You've got a Jedi Padawan on one side, spending their entire life learning how to connect with and listen to the Force. And then you've got Kal. He's a total void. They can't sense him, they can't guide him with the Force, they can't even influence his thoughts. And while they're learning to control an energy outside themselves, his power, it's all internal, fueled by starlight, and it's growing bigger every single day. And pretty soon, those powers are impossible to ignore. We're not talking just a little strong or a little fast. We're talking about moving so fast he's a blur, learning faster than any student in the temple. And then comes the incident with the shuttle, lifting it up with one hand to save a bunch of trapped engineers. That's it. That's the moment this goes from a curiosity to a potential galactic-level threat, and the Council knows they have to do something.
I mean, this is the question, isn't it? It keeps the entire Jedi Council up at night. The Force is how they do everything. It's their guide, their shield, their weapon. But what are you supposed to do when the most powerful being you've ever met is completely 100% immune to it? How can you possibly train that? And more importantly, how could you ever stop it?
But while the Jedi are freaking out, let's not forget about Kal himself. He says it plain and simple. He's not a monster, he's a kid, and he's scared of what he can do. He sees the fear in the eyes of the Jedi who raised him, and all he wants is to not become the weapon that everyone seems to think he is.
Well, that choice gets taken away from him. A massive, Sith-engineered disaster strikes Coruscant, and it forces Kal to finally act. And just like that, his secret is out, revealed to the entire galaxy in the loudest, most destructive way you can imagine. So you've got this scene of pure chaos. Buildings are collapsing, people are screaming, and in the middle of it all is Kal, literally holding up structures and shielding civilians. And out of all that smoke and rubble, the guy who caused it all steps out, a Sith Lord, Darth Vareth. He came looking for Jedi, but what he found was Kal.
And just like Master Rin did all those years ago, the very first thing this Sith Lord notices isn't Kal's power, it's his emptiness. Now, for a dark side user who feeds on fear and anger and life itself, sensing a complete nothingness, well, that's not just confusing, it's terrifying. It's just wrong. So the Sith Lord does what Sith Lords do. He unleashes his ultimate weapon, a storm of pure crackling force lightning. And in that single moment, the rules of the entire galaxy just get thrown out the window. Because the lightning hits Kal and Nothing happens. It just splashes off of him. The Sith's greatest power is completely, utterly useless. So after Kal sends the Sith Lord flying through about a dozen buildings, the Jedi finally show up and see the absolute wreckage. But here's the scariest part of the whole thing. Kal, looking horrified at what he's done, tells them that the incredible city block leveling power he just used, that was him trying his best to hold back. So yeah, the cat is officially out of the bag. But revealing a being like Kal doesn't solve any problems. Oh no, it just kicks off a brand new crisis that throws the whole galaxy into a panic. He's not a Jedi secret anymore, he's a public symbol.
And everybody has an opinion. The Senate, they see a living superweapon they need to control. The Sith, they see an unnatural abomination that has to be destroyed. The public is totally divided. Is he a savior or is he a monster? And the Jedi, his own family, they have no idea what to do.
Master Rowan just lays it all out for him. By saving people, Kal has accidentally turned himself into an asset, a prize, a symbol of power that every major faction now wants to either own or eliminate. He's trapped in the middle of a war he never, ever wanted. So he's faced with this impossible choice: be a weapon for the Republic, a target for the Sith, or some kind of prisoner of the Jedi. And Kal says no. He rejects all of it. With a leap that cracks the floor of the Jedi Temple, he just shoots into the sky and is gone, off to find his own way. But that's not the end of the story, not even close. Because that spectacular exit, it was seen all across Coruscant, broadcast on every holonet in the galaxy. And somewhere far away, someone else was watching. And they were not surprised. On some war-torn, red-hued planet, a dark figure watches the broadcast. And it becomes clear that Kal's big reveal wasn't an unexpected event for them. No, it was a trigger. The trigger for a plan that's been waiting in the shadows for a very, very long time. And as a massive warship powers up, we see the symbol on its side. It's not just one Sith Lord, it's the entire Sith Empire. And this leaves us with one final terrifying question. What kind of contingency do you even prepare for as Superman?